Every single action you take adds a layer of sediment to the structure of the person you are becoming. We've all felt the initial surge of motivation to start a new routine, exercising daily or cooking every meal. But within a week, the novelty vanishes, and the habit begins to feel like a heavy obligation. Meanwhile, the habits we dislike seem to possess a stubborn permanence. Behaviors like mindless scrolling or procrastination persist effortlessly, even when we have a sincere desire to stop. This cycle persists because our efforts target the wrong mechanism. We attempt to improve the output of our lives without addressing the internal beliefs that generate those actions. Most people begin by focusing entirely on the outcome, the specific weight they want to lose or the book they want to publish. Fixating on the result ignores the underlying operating system of beliefs that dictates how we actually spend our time. Behavior tends to fall back into alignment with our self-image. When a new habit conflicts with a deeply held belief, that internal friction will eventually stop the momentum. A person might aim to save money, but if they identify as a consumer who prioritizes immediate comfort over future creation, they will be constantly pulled back toward spending. Without rewriting the underlying identity, the old self acts like an immune system, identifying new behaviors as foreign threats and neutralizing them to maintain the status quo. Visualize behavior change in 3 layers. The outer ring is outcomes. The middle is processes. The center is identity. Durable change starts at the core. Instead of chasing a result, begin by deciding who you are, which dictates your processes and outcomes. Consider 2 people offered a cigarette. The first says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." The second says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." That second response signals a shift in reality. Smoking was part of a former life, not the current one. They no longer see themselves as a person who smokes, making the refusal an act of consistency rather than an act of willpower. Behavior change that persists is, at its root, identity change. This raises a fundamental question. If our self-image dictates our actions, how is that self-image built in the first place? The answer is found in the etymology of the word identity. It comes from the Latin words essentitas, meaning being, and identidem, meaning repeatedly. Your identity is your repeated beingness. Habits are the physical evidence of your identity. When you write every single day, you are providing yourself with proof that you are a creative person. Every action you take is a vote cast for the person you wish to become. As these votes accumulate, they provide the hard evidence to transform a subjective belief into a fact. You start to trust yourself because you have a mounting pile of proof. Fortunately, an election doesn't require a unanimous vote. You only need a simple majority to win. A few bad days or unproductive habits won't ruin the system as long as you win the majority of the time. We undergo constant microevolutions. Our daily routines are the mechanism through which we choose who we are going to be. When a habit becomes part of your core identity, you reach a state of psychological alignment. In this state, the friction of trying disappears. You are no longer pursuing behavior change. You are simply acting like the type of person you already believe yourself to be. However, this mechanism can also work against you. Repeating negative stories like, "I'm bad with names," or "I'm not a morning person," reinforces a rigid identity that makes growth feel impossible. This feedback loop can automate our growth through a positive self-image, or it can function as a cognitive anchor, tethering us to old stories about our limitations. You can navigate this by following a 2-step protocol. First, explicitly decide the exact type of person you want to be. If you aren't sure of the identity, look at the result you want and work backward. Ask, what kind of person could naturally achieve this outcome? Second, prove that identity to yourself with small wins. Each time you choose a healthy snack or write one sentence, you are casting a vote for that new self. This creates a self-sustaining loop. Your habits provide the evidence that shapes your identity, and your identity makes it easier to maintain your habits. Habit formation is a process of active self-editing, transcending the superficial metrics of productivity. It is about becoming the person you wish to be. You become what you repeatedly do. Subscribe to continue on learning,